Okay, so what we've got going on here is from the Ableton uh, digital audio workstation software publishers. Uh, Ableton is just kind of like for looping and dance music and live performance and stuff. It's a pretty like next generation kind of way of doing music. It's got a lot of built-in synthesizers, and what they've done is created a little tutorial to show how synthesizers work to people who are new to the whole idea. And we're in Firefox, latest version of Firefox, and I'm using NVDA, and there is a add-on that I installed called Golden Cursor, and this allows you to do drag and drop stuff that just regular NVDA won't let you do. So let's just, this is the very first step in the Learning Synths course, I guess. We're going to get started making sounds. We're going to drag in the box to play a synthesizer. And let's see if this is recording. There we go. Okay, so that's pretty dope. Let me turn that down a little bit so it doesn't kill you. So this is like a theremin kind of thing. The box above controls the synth running in your web browser. Yeah, so anyhow, I'm going to try and do this with NVDA and see if I can make that work. So the first thing that we have to do is turn on NVDA.
Volume mixer speakers. Get started learning synths Mozilla Firefox. Get started learning synths document. Visited link www.ableton. Learning synths get started link. Next amplitude link. Beta send us your feedback. Go to ableton.void. Learning synths heading level 1 visited link.
Okay, there's that. Now let's see if we can get to that box.
781.
Oh, okay. So there's my, it's calling out my mouse position because I'm using the arrow keys.
3003.
So you can actually kind of see my mouse like dragging across the screen right now. It's pretty slow. And it also just like keeps going even when I let off the keys, and it's not really announcing it. So I guess the idea would be to set this cursor to move in larger increments.
NVDA tools menu, preferences, speech dictionary submenu D. Punctuation / symbol, NVDA settings, general, normal configuration, dialog, category, 5, 0. Apply button track, get started.
Okay, so I'm going to move my mouse in 50 pixel increments because I've got a pretty high resolution screen. Okay, we'll see if I can grab a hold of that little circle on there. Of course, you know, if I was visually impaired, I would not be able to like do this visually, obviously. So let me just try and grab this. The command is caps lock control open bracket, and that's a regular NVDA command.
Left mouse button.
Hey, there we go. Okay, that's a little unnerving. So let me try. All right, let me try.
Started learning since Mozilla Firefox.
All right.
Left mouse button lock. 1095. 7. Right mouse, left mouse button unlocked.
Okay, so I did all of that with just the mouse keys, so that was pretty cool. And basically I'm just like putting some stuff in front of my monitor to see if like I can just do this without looking at all.
Next amplitude link.
Okay, let's go to amplitude.
Dot. Dot. No next annotation.
Mm,
No next heading. No next heading.
okay.
www.abletone.com visited link. Learning synths making changes link. Link learning synths making changes. Heading level 1 amplitude. One of the most common aspects of sound you can control with a synth is amplitude. This control affects the synth's amplitude without changing any other aspects of the sound. Clickable. Listen to the loudness change as you drag the slider. Increasing the amplitude makes a sound louder. Decreasing the amplitude.
Okay, let's mess with the amplitude. So the command to do a left mouse click and hold is NVDA control open bracket.
Left mouse button lock.
Okay, it's locked on something, but I don't know what. And I'm going to use the cursor keys to see if I can.
3014.
No. Okay, so that's not working. So let me unlock.
Right mouse button unlock. Menu.
Right button. Let's see.
Left mouse button unlock.
There we go. Okay, so let me see if I can find that control again.
1100, 2900, top, blank, bottom, blank, left, blank, right, blank.
Okay.
Making changes learning synths document. Next pitch visited link.
Okay.
Learning synths making changes. www. Navigation toolbar. Making changes learning synths. Learning synths making change. Next pitch visited link.
Okay, so I've lost the thing that I want. Let me see if I can find a button.
No next button. No next button.
Okay, no buttons.
No next button.
Any links?
Previous link. Beta send us your. Go to abletone.void. Learning synths heading level 1 visited. Get started link. Making changes modifying sound link. Amplitude visited link.
Okay, let's reload the page again and see if that does.
1245. Pitch visited link. Play with amplitude and pitch visited link. Learning more where to go from here link.
Okay, so I'm not really good right now with finding this, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. Sorry. Okay, so I'm over the controller. I just don't know how NVDA sees this object because it's some custom slider control, I guess. They're software engineers. They can do stuff like this. All right, so let's try and grab it and mess with it.
Left mouse button.
There we go. And that's just the
1000. 1000.
okay, so that's amplitude. Let me see, like visually what's going on here. So I can see that when I hover over this control, it's clickable because there's a little hand over it. So if I start up here with this amplitude thing,
420.
okay, so let's look at something real quick.
Notification overflow.
Let's see.
Settings.
Here's our
General,
mouse settings.
Normal configuration. Dialog. Categories. List. General 1 of 14. Mouse.
Okay, so I can report mouse shape changes.
Mouse property page. Report mouse shape changes checkbox not checked. Alt plus S. Checked.
Report roll when mouse enters object. Maybe they did some ARIA.
Report roll when mouse enters object checkbox not checked. Alt plus R. Checked.
Okay, so let's
Apply button press. Categories.
Let's
Making changes learning synths Mozilla Firefox.
all right. Let's move the
Making
mouse.
changes learning.
Let's move the mouse around and see what happens.
Section 889. 900 graphic 989. Unknown cursor. Section 1000 1000 1100 1000.
Okay.
Section 900.
So you can see the mouse pointer is an arrow, and what I was hoping is that when it turned into a hand, that it would let me know that it's in a clickable thing or whatever. So let's move it down. Maybe with tab key, see, because that's it's been hitting these objects, these player objects, and announcing that they're clickable. So let's see what happens if I tab and try and find it.
Next pitch visited link. Previous link.
Okay.
Beta send us your go to abletone.com visited link. Void. Learning synth. Get start. Amplitude visited link. Pitch visited link.
Okay. So it's stuck in this menu over here a little bit. I want to get out of that.
Paragraph makes the sound soft.
There we go.
The volume on your phone or computer is at 1139. Amplitude selected. Modifying sound selected. Making changes selected. Get started selected. Learning synth selected. Space selected. Void. Beta send. Previous selected. Next pitch selected. Volume on your space selected. Increasing the amplitude makes a sound. Listen to the loudness change as you drag the slider.
Okay.
Selected. Increasing the amplitude make 800 section 7 6 600 554 diagram 504 454 graphic 404 unknown cursor.
Okay, so it says unknown cursor, so that might be as good as we get. So if I just grab onto that thing, and then
Left mouse button lock.
nope.
Diagram. Section 1200. Left mouse button up. Right mouse button lock. Left mouse button lock. 500. Right left mouse button unlock.
Okay, so that kind of works. Let's try pitch.
Unknown cursor. Making changes learning synths Mozilla Firefox. Unknown. Normal cursor. Unknown cursor. Making changes learning synth. Learning more. Browser tabs tool. Making changes learning synths. Making changes learning synths. Navigation toolbar. Combo box collapse. View site info. Search with Google or enter it. Page actions button. Library. Making changes learning synths document. Link playground. www.abletone.com visited link. Learning synths making changes link. Link learning synths making changes. Heading level 1 pitch. Another important aspect of sound is pitch, its relative highness or lowness. This control affects just the synth's pitch. Clickable. Listen to the pitch change as you drag the slider. Many musical instruments allow you to control pitch. For example,
Okay, so what happens if I hit enter?
normal cursor.
Hey, look at that. Okay, so I just hit enter after it announced to enter the link, and it's just kind of
2343. Normal cursor.
it was just kind of moving up and down on its own. It was doing something weird. I'm gonna hit enter again.
Unknown cursor.
I'm gonna hold enter down and see what happens. Nothing.
1090. Unknown cursor.
Okay, so I've got unknown cursor, so if I go caps lock, control, left mouse, hold.
Left mouse button lock.
No,
Normal cursor.
that didn't do it.
Left mouse button unlock.
Okay, so
Unknown cursor.
maybe if the hand is right over it,
Left mouse button
then it
lock.
works. I actually,
1007. 1851.
yeah, I'm doing an
Normal cursor.
I'm doing an assist with the regular mouse, which is, kind of cheating a little bit.
Normal cursor.
So let's see. Let's try one more thing.
Unknown cursor. Normal cursor. Edit cursor. Normal cursor. Unknown cursor. Link visited. Normal cursor. Unknown cursor. Normal cursor. Edit cursor. Listen to the changes in amplitude as you drag up and down and the changes in pitch as you drag. www.abletone.com visited link. Section 1704 2000 section 2000 1905.
So I guess I'm kind of seeing, like, if I had a mobility impairment and I just could not use a mouse, or mobility of the hand impairment, and I could only use a mouse, I mean only use the keyboard, and I had visuals, then this would be doable. There's not really like enough information going on with the website that I can hear right now, that is helping me operate this drag and drop thing.
2045. Unknown left mouse button lock.
Yeah.
Music production with live and push Ableton visited link heading level 1 learn synth.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and call it in this one. I just kind of wanted to do a little experimenting with NVDA and this application that they built. I'll try one more. I'm not ready to quit yet. It's also like really fun to play with. So excuse me. There's our pitch and amplitude. Play with amplitude and pitch. And playing the synth. Okay, so we've got another press and hold here, and I've actually turned off NVDA, or turned it down. I'm gonna turn it back up again.
Volume mixer speakers, Logitech USB headset, dialog Firefox, synth basics, file sub menu Alt plus F1 of synth, OBS 2.3 making golden cursor.
There's our golden cursor instructions. Key command, view the saved mouse position, saving tags, toggle mouse restriction, change mouse movement unit. So that's good. Being able to change the amount of pixels that it moves at one press. Reporting of mouse position in pixels, so I can turn that off. Move mouse to specific X and Y position. Report the mouse position. Switch mouse arrows on or off. I was forgetting to do that. The Windows NVDA plus M and NVDA arrow keys are just arrow keys if the mouse arrows is on. Okay, so let me go back.
Volume mixer speakers, Logitech USB headset, row 1 column, synth basics learning synths Mozilla Firefox, synth basics learning synths documents, visited link www.abletone.com, unknown cursor.
Okay, so that's that unknown cursor again. I guess that's the hand. What happens if I do the caps lock Windows plus M, which turns on the mouse arrows?
Mouse arrows off.
So I turn them off, and then I move the arrow.
W.
Got it. Okay, let me turn them back on again. Caps locks, window, plus M.
Mouse arrows on.
Okay, so now my arrows just control the mouse.
2612.
Now we caps lock, Windows C.
100.
Caps lock, Windows C.
1.
Caps lock, Windows C.
5. 10. 20. 50. 100.
Okay, so I guess every time I do that, the distance that the mouse travels when I click one of the buttons changes incrementally.
755. 800. Paragraph. Some synthesizers are physical instruments with piano-like keyboards, like 955. Edit cursor. The one pictured below. 1155. Normal cursor.
Okay, so I'm just using the arrow key to move the mouse down. It's kind of reading whatever's underneath it if it can.
Section 1255. Unknown cursor.
Okay, I'm in a section. I have an unknown cursor. Can I caps lock and press the mouse key down? Just one left click, not click and hold.
Left click. Left click.
Oh,
Left click.
something happened.
Left click.
Okay.
2000. 1500. Left click. Left click. Right click. Left click.
Okay.
Synth Basics Learning Synths document. Visited. Left mouse button lock. 1912. Left mouse button unlocked.
Yeah, well, I don't think we want to lock that. Okay, let's try.
Left click.
See.
Left click.
There we go.
Left. Left click. One. Left click.
Okay.
Normal cursor. Bob.
I think we only get one note. And I'm doing it with the mouse. It's just the one note, so it didn't change. So that could have been a little clearer. When you play a synthesizer on this website, pressing a control is like pressing a key. Pressing down plays a note, and releasing it makes it stop. Okay. Okay, so there's no dragging with this. Now let's try it with NVDA. And I've just got the voice turned off because I kind of, you know, sort of know what it's trying to say for the most part. So caps lock, open bracket, nothing. Caps lock, open bracket. Okay. Okay, so that control isn't doing very well. Let's try the next one and see. Oh, we've got some knobs. We've got some draggy things. So let's hear what NVDA has to say about this page.
Volume mixer speakers. Synth Basics Learn. Unknown. Learning Synths visit. Visited link www.ableton.com. Link Learning Synth Basics. Heading Level 1 Changing the sound. Both physical synthesizers and software synths, like the one on this website, have controls such as knobs and sliders. Clickable. This slider is for edit cursor.
Okay, I hit the button. It said clickable. I pressed enter, and really nothing.
Edit 2700 section 235 no 335 section 435 535 1 5 10 20 50 100.
Okay, 100 pixels is all I can get out of this.
7 800 900 1035 1100 and Paragraph 1235. Section 1 1000. Canvas 1535. Unknown cursor.
Okay, let's try and press it.
Left click.
No, no.
1000, 1700, 2000, 2000, 1000, 19, 20, toolbar, run,
Uh,
1935. Normal cursor, unknown cursor. 1800, 1000, section. This slider is for amplitude, 1177.
maybe
Edit cursor.
we'll get something out of this. It doesn't say drag though.
1000, 1940, section, 1022, 2, section, 2, section, 1277, unknown cursor. Left click, clickable, left mouse button lock, 2000, 1544. Left brace. Start window, Cortana window, Synth Basics Learning Synths Mozilla Firefox, Synth Basics Learning Synths document, heading level 4 drag, edit cursor, unknown cursor, clickable.
Okay,
Normal cursor.
so learned a little bit about using the golden cursor, learned a little bit about some synthesizers, learned a little bit about how to do stuff with the mouse with the basic NVDA thing, and I think that was a pretty good use of our time. And thanks a lot for watching the video.